All right. Cool. All right. That. Oh, that's healing. All right. Cool. I felt something had me like, whoa, what's that? Caring for this bullshit we know as sickle cell disease, whatever. Now, I want to go into this one. This one is I guess it's kind of for everybody. I was gonna go into saying parents because again, I spoke on in the first video that a lot of our parents did not experience what we experienced. A lot of them, right? A lot of people, parents, oh, they had the trait or this parent had this trait. Who is calling me? Because I'm about to go right back on. All right, whatever. This parent had the trade, this parent had the trade, they didn't know shit, and then they ended up with us with all these damn problems and da 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 da. So, I want to go into this and talk about a lot of things that I discovered in taking care of myself. Now, I talk about how I had a near-death experience, I had this mystical journey, and da 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 da. But before I committed to this mystical journey, I was living in New Jersey, right? So, to add more context to that, when I moved with my aunt and I had, this intuition and, I started having this spiritual awakening, there, but then after maybe half a year, some stuff happened. I had to leave and I had to go back to Jersey, right? So a lot of when I'm talking about this mystical experience that I went on, it's 7 years from when I was at my aunt's house and right after my first spiritual awakening, my first near-death experience, which caused a spiritual awakening, and then I was like, I gotta get out of Jersey, and I went to my aunt's house. So, the thing where I'm talking about, where I'm walking around nature, that's 7 years later. That's 6 months ago type energy, maybe 9 months ago now, I don't know, right? What I'm gonna go to now is more so, when I went back to Jersey, I talked about I started studying chakras and intuition, meditation, all this different stuff, and I was practicing different things. And I basically, I had a lot of problems in Jersey. I still was having a lot of physical problems. So even though my intuition was activated, I still was having problems because the environment did not physically resonate with me. So even though I was meditating deeply. I could sit there and meditate for an hour like it was nothing. I was meditating so much, and everything that I was experiencing, I was able to tap into meditative states without having to even meditate. It was ridiculous. But I did all these things and I experienced a lot of cool stuff, but I still came to the same conclusion. It was not enough for sickle cell, or what my experience with this physical phenomenon, right? So, I know I'm starting rambling. I'll be talking a lot. It is what it is. So, I'm trying to think. This was 2018 to 2019 when I was with my aunt. And then I went back to Jersey, and I was in Jersey till I want to say either the end of 2022 or 2023. My father had just recently retired. He was like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. So he wanted to move down south. So when I moved down south was maybe 2022, 2023. Now, when I moved down south, I want to reiterate, maybe we should go into the next, no, not that. When I moved down south, I want to reiterate, Jersey has 3 months that are warm. Spring, in my opinion, is not warm in New Jersey. It's still cold. It feels like Carolina's winter. Carolina's winter feels like Jersey's spring. So, no. Right? So, the only 3 warm or hot months is summer. And it's just not good. It's not good for anyone that has sickle cell. Also, New Jersey's very dry. New Jersey is a very dry place. I don't like it. So, going into North Carolina was such a difference for me because, one, and I want people to understand this, the summer is longer. Their summer, bro, spring just started and it was 70 degrees. I was walking around with no socks, pants, not pants, I had shorts on, no shirt. Days when it gets sunny, I could walk around like that. And spring just started. You ain't doing this shit till middle of summer in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I wasn't having so many problems. I wasn't in school. I didn't have no job. Again, I had 2 middle-class parents that they were able to provide for me so I could maneuver. But I still couldn't be in society because I was having too many problems. It just was too much for me to handle. and I started studying things with the nervous system. I started studying things like autism. I study autism because autism is a condition of the nervous system. There's something wrong with your nervous system, you're going to have symptoms similar to autism. And I found that myself, I always seemed very autistic when I was a child. I was sensitive to the smell of food, to food touching. I was sensitive to sound. I was sensitive to light. I was sensitive to all these things. And people, oh, you're so scary. They didn't understand my nervous system was being fried, dog. Especially because you got to understand, with sickle cell, your body doesn't have enough nutrients. So your nervous system is not stable. So that's for another thing. But I spent this time in Carolina, and I trialed everything, right? I'm going to get into that in this. I trialed everything. I learned what I could and couldn't eat because my parents didn't understand that. Black people still on this fucking Thanksgiving soul food cooking, and it's poisonous. Everything is loaded with sugar and salt, and you can't be giving that to your kids talking about, oh, this is, what our answer. Yeah, the niggas that was slaves was eating this shit because they was eating survival food. They was eating no matter what, and they was so godly, they cooked the shit up and still made it fire, still made it taste good, right? So that's where a lot of that stuff comes from, but it's not natural to us in how we're supposed to eat. We're not supposed to eat that way, but whatever. I want to go into a lot of different things here, and yeah, I think that's it for now. We'll see what comes up. We're going to flow with it. Okay, cold weather environments. Cold weather is like kryptonite for all black people. Black people don't go outside when it's cold. We don't fuck with that shit. We don't fuck with the cold. We don't even go outside when it's cold. If you got sickle cell, this is probably the number one reason that you run into crises aside from malnutrition. It's cold weather. Cold weather will fuck you up the most. How do I know? I grew up in Jersey, dog. Winters be single-digit degrees. Fuck out of here. I'm never going to live there ever again. So, cold weather is kryptonite. Understand, as powerful as Superman is, because I keep reiterating that this is a genetic super trait, as powerful as Superman is, if I throw a green rock at his bitch ass, is done. He can't do nothing. I could fuck Superman up in the state I'm in now if I walk in there with kryptonite. That's all I'm trying to say. You have to look at it like that's what the cold is for people with this condition. Right. When I live in Jersey, I like crisis. See, it's already here. It was freezing 9 months of the year. Therefore, my body's natural systems could not work properly. Understand that. When I moved to North Carolina, my crises came to a halt after adjusting to the warmer environments. It's warm 9 months of the year. I stopped having crises when I was in Carolina. And I'm going to talk about being in the sun later on. And I'm going to explain why doctors will say, don't go in extreme heat and this and the other. Because a lot of that shit, it is and is not a myth. But I have to explain that. Again, I'm going to throw warnings in here that I ain't telling you to do shit. I'm not recommending shit. I'm explaining certain things through my own experience. This is the number one disadvantage and cause of crisis in my opinion. It being brick outside. If you ain't got bread like that to move somewhere warm, I'm going to suggest as many helpful things as I possibly can. So, what year are we in? 26? 2020, end of 2024, I left Carolina and I went back to Jersey because my parents still had their house up there. My mom was still working. So when my dad retired, it was just me and him down here. My mom was still working, so they still had the house in Jersey. So that house brick, nigga, and it's old, so it doesn't have vents and shit. And these are important. It's cold. You can't even open the window. People with sickle cell need maximum levels of oxygen. So we couldn't even open the windows. The house was old, so it didn't have no vents and shit, bro. I used to grow up not even opening the window. I was sitting in there fucking, I don't know how I'm fucking was doing that shit, but you know what I'm saying? I had to survive the winter, and now that I had this awareness after being in Carolina, I was learning how to cook my foods in Carolina. I was learning how can I be active? How can I exercise? How can I do this, that, and that? I was learning all that shit when I moved down here with my dad, right? So I'm going to go into as much stuff with cold environments. All right, cold environments, right? Cold weather. You need to have ski pants. If your child has sickle cell, you have to get them ski pants or the ski suit. I like the ski suit just because it hangs on the shoulders. It's easy. It keeps it up versus the pants I feel like be sliding and shit. The ski suit is godly. So I used to say to myself, I was sitting, I forget where, I know where I was at, but I forget why it came to me. I was actually near water, ironically. I still remember my cousin was having a baby, and I went to his baby shower, and I was having this thought, and I was like, why don't we have jackets for our legs. Right? Now that sounds stupid, but why don't we have jackets for our legs? Why? Why do we not have jackets for our legs? The upper body gets like a shirt, some thermals, you get a whole motherfucking hoodie, and then a jacket on top of that. What do your legs get? Nothing. Why would we not? No. So I should have made a slide for this, but I wanted to go in understanding on an energy level or even nutriently what's happening to people with sickle cell. You know what? We're going to do that right now. You know what's happening to people with sickle cell? The body, and maybe I'll add more slides after this before I post it. The body is prioritizing your organs and certain systems like your nervous system so that you can continue to function. If you look up what happens to someone who's in survival mode, the body turns off their ability to even feel hunger. You won't even feel hungry, right? Not only that, if your body is working on a limited amount of nutrients, which that's what sickle cell is, malnourishment. I put this here because, yes, we're experiencing malnourishment, but I keep saying it's not a disease. Right. When you're experiencing malnourishment, the body now has to ration the energy and nutrients it does have. So it's going to be like, well, you can live without your legs. I'm going to take the energy from your legs and I'm going to give it to your organs and your brain and your nervous system. This is why people are having AVN and they're getting hip and shoulder replacements. Do you know why? Because the body is eating itself. I'm going to say that again. The body is eating itself so that it has nourishment so you can live. Now, we got a little, whoa, what the fuck? That's what's happening. The body's so strong, it's doing whatever it can to stay alive, but it's prioritizing your organs. It's prioritizing so you can function. You can function, you can think, you can this, that, and the other. The body will prioritize. That's what's happening with people. So another side of that is when you see people that have a lot of back pain, because everybody with sickle cell, in my opinion, experience back pain. That's the worst fucking pain. What's happening is you getting so much energy taken away from your legs. Back pain comes from weak legs. You can look it up. It comes from weak legs. So we think everything is just sickling. There's a lot of other shit going on. Back pain comes from having very weak legs, and now your spine is out of place. All these different things are out of place now because they're not functioning the way they're supposed to. There's too much stress on certain joints. There's too much stress on certain muscles. There's too much stress on certain fascia and tendons and shit. That's where a lot of this pain is coming from. Stop back pain. You got to get your legs strong enough. But you can't get your legs strong enough if you don't have the nutrients or whatever, right? We're going to keep going. Thermals. And get cotton. Try and get cotton clothes. Stay the fuck away from polyester. It's terrible for you. Get cotton thermals. Try to stay away from the Walmart ones. The cheap ass shits. They ass, in my opinion. The best ones I've had are from Target. They're called Goodfellow. Cotton ones. Easy. Those to me, I think they're like $15 a piece. I got the top and bottoms, 15 each. I got several of them shits. Game changer, nigga. And make sure the thermals you get are breathable, right? So my dad used to try and get dry fit thermals when I was a kid. But dry fit thermals, while it did feel like it was really warm, it felt like my body couldn't breathe. Our body breathes. That's why we have pores. The whole body breathes in oxygen and energy. You can't do shit that's going to suffocate you. And I'm going to let you know now, being in cold ass places and having to wear this many clothes, your body's actually suffocating. But whatever, right? Whenever I wore dry, yeah, everything I just said, upper half of the body gets a thermal, a hoodie, and a jacket. Why would our legs not also get a jacket? So again, your legs ain't as warm as your upper body. You're losing energy. You're losing nutrients. You're losing all type of shit. And you're putting your lower half of the body, which everybody with sickle cell got a fucking, we already got this back pain ass bullshit. You need to do everything you can to provide for your body. You need to love your body like a motherfucker. Don't hate it. Don't hate none of this. You got to provide for your body. It's you. It's you. You're just not understanding what you're experiencing. Cool. Lightweight yet warm boots. You don't want to get heavy ass Timbs and all these heavy, because you're trying to conserve as much energy as you can. Timbs and a lot of boots are way too fucking heavy. I found the UGG boots to be warm as fuck, and they worked for me. And I don't mean like the girl looking ones. I got some like some mid top shits. Like I don't even remember like what they was, but I seen them and I was like, cool. My intuition was like, that's good. Midweight UGG boots, man. Find whatever the fuck resonate with you. I'm gonna see if oh, these look crazy. This ain't it. I'll see if it pop up on my phone. I felt like the ones I had was hard. I don't see them. And, oh no, here they go. I had something like this. It's not this exact one. I had something like that, but they were gray. UGG Numal. They were like gray. Oh no. This is it. Men's UGG Heritage. That was it. Men's UGG Heritage boot gray low top. Alright, see they playing games because they just showed it. What part of UGG boots? Oh, because I didn't type in UGG. That's on me. My bad. They still ain't showing this shit. There we go. Found them. These Johns hard. UGG Numal Trailblazer, nigga. That shit sound crazy, but these, I don't know if you can see that shit. I might make it bigger. I had some shit like that, and they wasn't that heavy, and they kept me warm as hell. So, again, your body has to be, the warmth is one of the best things ever, dog. Your body can't be in no cold, so you need thermals. You need sweatpants. I would get cotton sweatpants. I get my pants from Kohl's because they cheap. They work. They're like a mix of cotton polyester or whatever. That's what I had. It's cheap. You get a lot of shit from Kohl's. I got, you know what I'm saying? And I got, so that's what I wear. I was the thermals, the sweatpants, and the ski suit. You got to be layered the fuck up. You have to be, right? So I'm gonna say now, I don't wear underwear. I don't. Underwear, that shit actually doesn't allow your private area to breathe. Hey, some people might not agree with that. It is what it is. I do what I want. I remember watching an old video where the guy was saying like he was around all these native people, or like in the Amazon or whatever, and he was talking about like they dicks was hanging to the ground and shit. And let's be honest, we seen the African statues. That's what they look like. He was like, how is that? He's like, you wearing underwear, dog. It's suffocating and shortening your dick. There you go. So, that's that. There's something else I feel like I'm supposed to say. Oh, I noticed that wearing jeans, wearing tight, stiff clothes contributed to me having attacks. Because it made the body, like, really tense and like, the body's already tense from the attacks and the crises and the malnutrition. You don't want anything that's making it more whatchamacallit. So I went and got me a North Face. I don't care how I had to get it. I went through Klarna. Shit. Got me a fucking North Face. That motherfucker keep you warm. So, you know what I'm saying? So, that's it for cold weather for now. You want to stay in environments that are warm. So, you got to get to somewhere in your house that's really, really warm. Be in the warmest part of the house if you have to be. Whatever. So, I'm going to let that be for now. I feel like there's something else, but it'll come to me. Alright, cool. Food. Home-cooked meals are superior to everything. Everything. A lot of this shit out here is not cooked right. It's not cooked well, and it's not cooked for your health. If home cooked meals allow you to take care of the ingredients, the nutrients, the fucking the seasoning, how it's cooked, right? Certain things that you just gotta do, right? You gotta learn what it is your body needs and how to cook it in the most simplest, healthy way. For example, when I was a kid, my dad, he was trying to study a lot of this shit. He was trying to get me to have this turmeric, ginger shit, and all these other things. He was trying to get me spinach because the whole thing was, iron. But the spinach was making me sick. The spinach was making my tongue hurt. That's your body telling you this is not what you need. And you got to listen to that and abide by that. Now, another thing is, like my mom used to be cooking and adding salt and sugar and butter and all this bullshit. You got to stay away from that type of shit. It's not good for you. I don't give a fuck what it tastes like. You want your kids to eat vegetables, get you an Instapot. That's what I do with the kale. I take the kale and don't get kale that's in a plastic bag. Get the kale that's already out. That's the healthiest. How the fuck is vegetables and fruits that's alive staying alive in a plastic bag? How the fuck that work? Whatever, right? Get the ones that's already out. You know, the little shower shit that happened in the store. You know, it was just a kid. You remember the little shower? It just water the fruits. Get that type of shit, right? I throw the kale in the Instapot. I take the kale, I rinse it, clean it off, throw it in the Instapot, cover it with water, pressure cook the motherfucker for 1 minute, because this is similar to you steaming it. You want to steam your vegetables. I say steam. You can eat it raw, but raw for me is too much fucking chewing and my jaw start hurting. And I'd be like, all right, bro. Raw is best, but steaming is good. Now, some people say steaming takes out the nutrients. If you steam it in the water, a lot of the nutrients will go into the water. So now you can get a bowl, put the vegetable in the bowl, and then use the water that you steamed it in and put it in the bowl with that and eat all that. You'll be good, and it'll be really good for like fiber-wise. We have to have go-tos for everything. Every situation, like Batman. You know how Batman got the belt on? This bitch got the batarang, the smoke screen. He got everything for any situation. Bam, I'm gonna pull the shit out. I'm gonna zip line of this. Batman, Superman bugging the fuck out. Kryptonite his bitch ass. He got a fucking thing for everything. Batman's so smart. He got a contingency plan for every motherfucker in the Justice League. Say they wanted to go rogue and do some fuck shit. He know how to take down everybody in that nigga except Plastic Man, but whatever. Right? So, next slide will be a breakdown of what I eat and why it doesn't affect me in unhealthy ways. This allows me to gain weight and be active way more than I ever have in my entire life. So you got to understand, you got to have the right food, you got to have the right meals, you got to cook them properly. You have to be on top of that shit. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my nigga. Because if not, that low nutrients malnutrition gonna take over and you gonna be dummy skinny forever. So like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get on that shit. The Instapot to me is the greatest shit ever. Get 2 Instapots and just steam your vegetables in that shit. That makes life easy. You don't even got to do nothing. You don't even got to stand over the stove. I love cooking, but standing over the stove for too long, I'll be over it. Fuck that. Right? So, food, make meals extremely easy to make. I abuse the Instapot. Just like I said, I abuse the Instapot. Get 2 of them Johns. I use one for jasmine rice. I eat jasmine rice because white rice and brown rice has gluten in it. Gluten is something that our body can't even break down. So what ends up happening is you eat gluten, and now what gluten actually does is it blocks you from absorbing other nutrients from food. That's what it does. If your body can't break that shit down, it will block you from absorbing nutrients from other food. So now your whole meal is a waste of time because this had gluten in it. And now you're not digesting nothing. And you feeling fucking backed up and constipated and stupid shit, right? Easy meal. Nigga, jasmine rice, 1 cup of jasmine rice, 2 cup of water. I add a little salt. I get like either sea salt, Himalayan salt. I'm not saying go crazy with salt. I do a little You know what I'm saying? I don't go crazy with it. I don't be doing high sodium bullshit. 3 scoops of coconut oil, because we going to give it a little flavor. 10 minutes pressure cook. You can walk away from the shit. Easy money. Nigga, so one takes 10 minutes, the other take 1 minute. Easy money, and you got your own home-cooked meal. Don't even have to waste energy standing over the goddamn stove. We cook lazy out here, you heard, nigga, right? The only thing I say takes the most time is, like, I eat meat, right? Not as much, but I do. And what I do with meat is I don't eat all meat. I try to stay away from red meat. So the most meat I usually eat is like chicken, right? I'll eat chicken breast, and I'll I'll cook that on the stove. I'll season it up, simple. Garlic, onion, paprika, salt, pepper, and there's one more that I'm missing. I don't care. You figure out your own simple seasons, right? So cool. I fucking get some avocado oil because olive oil is not supposed to be cooked at high temperature. It's not. So avocado oil, put that in a fucking stainless steel pan. Let that heat up. Take my seasoned chicken. Bam. Throw that on that mug. Cut it up however you want. Put whatever you want on it. Sauce, I don't care. Easy. So now I got protein. The jasmine rice, we're gonna get into that in a later slide. But you want balanced meals, and we're gonna get into that. So we're gonna keep cooking. I do that, and I stay away from red meat, but I do eat bison meat. And you gotta listen to your body. My body sometimes says, yeah, you could go eat bison meat. You could go eat eggs right now. You could do that, this, that, and the other. these kind of things help with gaining weight. So cool. And you gotta listen to what resonates with you. And I don't know if I go into in the other slide, but parents gotta understand, like, you gotta cook things in a simple way. Don't be adding all this flavor shit, that and the other. Simple way for your child to know if their body's gonna accept this food or not. My mom used to be over seasoning shit, and I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't eat as a kid. I'd go hours without eating. My dad used to be hot. I'd be sitting at the dinner table. He'd be mad as fuck. Motherfucker got off work. I'm sitting here for hours. I'm not eating this shit. Because when I was a kid, my body could tell it was poison. And we go down a whole long line of that, but whatever. Next one. So what I eat for breakfast, I get me some gluten-free rolled oats. I don't like standing over the stove, like I said. You see that shit say quick cooking, motherfucker. This shit take 3 minutes. I promise you. It might be 5, but it be like 3 minutes to cook this motherfucker. Nigga, gluten-free oats. Add a little cinnamon in it. Sometimes I get the frozen fruit and I put it in the water. It thaws out in the water. Bam. The fruit helps with, giving you energy, nutrients, fiber. Same thing as the oats. Easy. Sometimes I'll have eggs with this. Sometimes I'll have, water. Simple. I don't eat smoothies. I don't know if I go into this later or not. I don't eat smoothies, and I'm going to tell you why. And I also wanted to talk about this, but I don't like taking herbal teas. Teas are good for you, but I don't like taking herb teas. And I'm going to tell you why. I cannot handle too much fiber. When I handle too much fiber, I start getting diarrhea. I start getting all types of crazy shit. And it's like, when you have diarrhea means your body is not absorbing the nutrients that you're giving it. That means you're wasting your time with whatever you're doing and eating. So if you eat something, if you take tea, no. So go one by one. Start off with just kale. Don't even do a whole meal. Start off with just kale. See if your child like that shit. Steam it. Get into a form that they'll like it. But you don't need to over season these shits. God give us the fruit straight out the ground. It's already seasoned, dog. It's already delicious. So you ain't gotta do too much, right? Cool. Don't go into that. All right. So lunch, source of protein, chicken and rice, and like I already said, jasmine rice, naturally gluten-free, and steamed kale raw. I eat cucumbers. Cucumbers are one of the most hydrating foods there is. That's amazing for people with sickle cell. Go get your motherfucking cucumbers and get everything organic. I say go to Whole Foods. Trader Joe's is cool. Sprouts is cool. Number one, in my opinion, is Whole Foods. Whole Foods, to me, is untouchable. Or if you have, like, what are them shits called? Farmers markets. Those are undefeatable. Right? Do that. Now, another hydrating food is watermelon. I can't eat watermelon. I cannot nigga it up. I'm going to be honest with you. Watermelon has too high of a fiber count. Right? So whenever I eat watermelon, my stomach starts going crazy. So you got to check stuff like that. Because if your child... The thing with sickle cell is you want to maintain as many nutrients as possible. So you don't want to go too hard in the fiber area. You just don't. Now, I really cannot see what it says for dinner. Oh, shit. I did not mean to do that. It is what it is, nigga. That's God. But for dinner, same iteration that I did for lunch. I know that. Same iteration. Or, same thing or different iterations of it. So I get Rummo spaghetti. Right? Rummo spaghetti, gluten-free. Get my primal tomato sauce. Bam. Sometimes I'll mix in bison meat with that. You know what I'm saying? You got a protein, da-da-da-da. Then you could eat, kale and find you some gluten-free bread if you can, because you want to eat mixed meals, and this is what I want to go into. So find different variations of vegetables to go to so you're not eating the same shit all the time. So what I'm going to start going into soon is steaming cabbage. So I don't want to just keep eating kale. I can't eat spinach. My body doesn't accept it. I want to start trying cabbage or romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce also doesn't really sit well with me, but I want to see what happens if I steam it. Will that be any different? So I'll try that out. Just, you got to go one by one. Just give your child shit and see if they fuck with it or not in the most simplest forms. And I don't do the raw, like I said. It's just too much chewing. I don't like that shit. Now, and prepare them in simple and natural ways. Cooking vegetables kills nutrients. You boiling and shit kills nutrients. You know what I'm saying? Overcooking shit on the stove, on the pot, you trying to make it taste all good, you're killing the nutrients. Waste of time. People with sickle cell need the nutrients. Best option is to eat raw or steam. Steam them joints in the Instant Pot for 1 minute, and the nutrients also go in the water, which you can drink. So now you want foods that range from acidic to neutral to alkaline. You don't want to go too far in any area. Now, I was reminded by young Pharaoh of this type of stuff where he was talking about if you go too much in the alkaline, it'll fuck you up, right? So people talk about Dr. Sebi. I ain't really studied Dr. Sebi that much. Like, I just looked at it and I learned it, but I couldn't really apply a lot of it. It just didn't resonate with me. Cool. But he talked about one time he got somebody on an alkaline diet, and he was like, he told them, you cannot go back to eating how you used to eat. He was like, the nigga went back to eating Jamaican food, like oxtails and shit, because Jamaican food is very acidic, but they give you a good balance. They give you the meat, the rice, and the cabbage. But oxtails is ox ass, if we being honest. And the shit is delicious. If we be honest, oxtails hit like a motherfucker, but we really not supposed to be eating like that. But it was so acidic, he was like, the motherfucker died eating. Right? So you don't want to go too far in any area. Alkaline, and as you can see, this is what Young Farrell was bringing up, it starts to show the rainbow, which is the chakra system, right? That type of stuff, because the rainbow has different frequencies. You can go into a lot of studying that on your own. I don't feel like doing that. And it'll show you different things. So when you eating too much bullshit like McDonald's, Wendy's, all this nonsense that's acidic food, you're operating in your lowest chakra, your lowest being, bruh. The lowest of the low. And you acting like an idiot all the time because you eating like that. So you want to balance. So the chicken bison is kind of more acidic, right? That's more acidic. That's the protein, whatever. Now you have something like rice, jasmine rice, which is gluten-free, or you find gluten-free bread, or you find things that are in that neutral range, because this will actually help balance everything. This will actually absorb the fucking acid, right? Same thing is if you drink, I don't drink alcohol no more. I'm off that shit. Been off that shit for a long time, actually. They tell you, eat something like rice, eat bread, eat crackers, because it'll absorb the acid and all that shit that's fucking your stomach up. Right, cool. And now all the vegetables and stuff is usually the high alkaline that's really good for you. So you want a balance of these things. Too much of any of these ranges is bad for you. So you want balance. And you have to do your own studying, because kale might not resonate with somebody else, but they got to do their own study and see what their body's asking for. You know that saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Bitch, I need a banana today. You're not eating a banana every day. You're going to need a banana this day. You might need an apple this day. Your body might say, go get some kiwi, dog. Whatever resonates with you. Figure that out. I already spoke on this food formula of balance: acid, neutral, alkaline. Understand that sickle cell is a spectrum that needs to have every angle provided for. Meaning, going back to the beginning, you need to be warm. You need to be able to be outside, getting fresh air, being in nature, and these types of things. You need that. You need activity. And it doesn't have to be high activity like everyone else, because we know our body couldn't handle that. Go to the park. Go walk. Go on a treadmill. Do some yoga. Do some stretching. I'll be honest with you. Stretching didn't resonate when I was a kid. It still doesn't resonate with me, because it just doesn't feel like it's enough. But it might resonate with you. So cool. Do what it is you can find. Feed your mind. Feed your body. Feed your soul. Right. So protein, water intake, veggies, fruit, sun activity. I can't see what word is behind that. You must do all of it. But find balance. Find balance in what works for you, because you need all of these different things. I found that, like, when I went for walking, and I think they refer to walking as like aerobic exercise, it stimulates all your joints. So this gets the blood moving. This makes your joints stronger. This helps your joints let go of a lot of tension, which is where we experience a lot of pain. The hip, the shoulder, the arm, the elbow, these different things, right? So cool. Now we're going into the next one. This one's very important. Download the Yuka app. Gluten is poisonous. Additives are poisonous. Salt, high sodium, is poisonous. Sugar, unnatural white added sugar. So when someone says, oh yeah, it has all this added, poisonous. Dairy is poisonous. I don't give a fuck what nobody talks. Dairy is poisonous. Milk, butter, poisonous. That is some of the highest acid forming fucking things you can ever eat. Cereal is a waste of time. It has no real nutritious value. Oats are better. And if you want to add some more flavor, though, you put some shits in some almond milk, some honey and honey. You can do overnight oats, so you don't even got to wake up and cook it. Put like a cup of oats. Put the same formula that's needed to cook the oats in a mason jar, and add some almond milk, add some cinnamon. If you want to put fruit in there, cool. I don't know, and just stir it up. Leave it in the fridge overnight, and you can just eat that straight out the fridge, dog. Come on, son. Right? So going back to the Yuka app will let you scan every product in the store to see if it has as you can see additives, sugar. It'll let you know what's in it and what's good and bad, right? And it'll give its own scale rating. Go by what the fuck resonate with you. I stay away from shit that got additives in it. To the best of my ability, I stay away. And you can always use this for like beauty products and shit. Because again, it's a lot of stuff we gotta do to take care of ourselves as black people. Download the Yuka app. I think it's like $8 a month or some shit. And yo, scan everything. Cause we talking about our child's life, bro. We talking about our life, nigga. We gotta do the absolute most to take care of ourselves. It be water out here that has additives in it. You think essential water good and the bitch got additives in it. What type of shit is this? The best water is spring water. Spring water. Try and stay away from plastic. We can't do too much about that. Get spring water. A lot of this fucking alkalized, this and I don't really trust a lot of shit, but I just go with spring water because it's the most natural. You drinking alkaline water, if you got too much alkaline, you're going to get fucked up. So, you know what I'm saying? Go with whatever nature is naturally doing. That's what our ancestors did. So, is there it for this? You got to stay away from a lot of this shit. I'll tell you now, wheat, spaghetti, bread, rice, that's where a lot of gluten comes from. So you got to find forms of that are gluten-free and are not bullshit. Jasmine rice is the best thing that I found. I get Romo pasta. They're pretty good, but I'm a little part of me is like, technically this might still be a lab experiment. A lot of these foods are lab experiments. They're not even real food. So, you know what I'm saying? Things, all these additives, lab experiment. You got to stay away from the lab experiments for both your physical, food and also beauty products. Staying away from salt. I have chips every here now and again. I ain't gonna hold you, I do. But chips are terrible because chips literally actually absorb the liquid in your body. We're the same thing like Earth. We like a high percentage, 75+% water. Chips actually dehydrate you. That's what they do. They dehydrate you. But we all fuck with chips, so every now and here again, I get Cape Cod chips. They got the least amount of additives. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here to be perfect. Just get the lesser of those poisons. You know what I'm saying? And try and stay away from like unnatural sugar and shit. Right? Next one. Now here's the bangers that I found, nigga. These are the bangers that I found, nigga. Right? Herb tinctures. Herb tinctures. So I talked about herbal teas, right? I said I don't like taking herbal teas because what happens is, and the teas are good. They're very good for you. But because the water is warm and hot, what this does is this stimulates your digestive system. And a lot of times with me, that would lead to diarrhea because it's now moving and my body is holding on to these nutrients, bro. My body's holding on to these nutrients and it's not time for me to just let it go. It stimulates my digestive system and it throws me out of whack. So I was like, okay, I need to find a way to take these herbs without doing this way. I try to take certain things pill form. I didn't like that. Now you can get herb tinctures and add it to your water. So now you're drinking water like you're already supposed to be doing. There's a slide up here somewhere. I talk about water. We need like 100 ounces as anyone. So imagine what the fuck you need as a so-called sickle cell person. You need that water. You need that. Right? So you could get herb tinctures, right? I take my herbs in liquid form and add them to my water. Teas, which can help, I stay away from because the heat of the tea tend to stimulate the digestive system and this throws my shit out of whack. Sickle cell people tend to lose appetite because the body is so overwhelmed it's going into survival mode. Stimulating any body system is going to add more work for the body. This is why you find a lot of people who have sickle cell pain, they don't want to eat shit. You thinking, bro, you gotta eat. They don't want to eat because the body is not in a state to do more work. They're in too much pain and they're in too much stress. You eating is going to trigger every system. It's going to start triggering the nervous system. It's going to trigger your muscles. It's going to trigger your fascia. It's going to trigger a lot of shit. It's going to start triggering other systems and it's more work for the body. That's why some people say don't eat right next to bed. Don't eat, if you got this, that, and the other going on because your body has to work to digest these foods, right? So liquid herbs are good because it doesn't stimulate anything, right? It doesn't stimulate anything. And then it goes straight into the bloodstream. It's basically medicine to a degree. I don't know enough about to say this and the other, but I know they fucking work and help. And you could take a lot of this shit for you could take it for blood. You could take it for every organ and system in your body to help it. But again, you got to do your own research and learn things because you can't be overdosing on shit and thinking, oh, I just keep adding this. No, too much of anything is not good for you, right? But the herbs work and they won't stimulate a lot of other shit. So I'm going to go into, then there's something else here. Hold on. Is there something else here? Or is it, the herbs? And I want to go into specific herbs that I found will help people specifically with sickle cell. Telling you, dog, nigga, we out here, nigga. All right, so I think this is what I was further confirmation what I was talking about. When your body is overstimulated, whether from stress, too much noise, screens, caffeine, social input, or emotional overload, that's what you see in autism people. Social input and emotional overload, they start, oh shit. You remember bro, I can't be the only nigga. I was the sickle cell nigga in the barber shop, like, don't cut my fucking hair. Ah! That was me. I was crying like a motherfucker, and my grandfather was the barber. He owned the barber shop. It didn't give a fuck, but it was my nervous system was being too overstimulated. On top of that, your hair's antennas grow your shit. We'll go into that another day, but right, what's happening in your body? All right, so putting that together, what do you see that from? You see that from people with autism. What's happening in your body? Overstimulated activates the fight or flight response controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. Autism is a nervous system experience. Their nervous system is not handling certain things. That's what's happening. That's what's happening when you see sickle cell people being in so much pain, they won't eat. My mother was bringing me Chinese food. My favorite foods I wouldn't eat because the body's turning off hunger because it's like, bitch, you not going to overload. I'm already overloaded, nigga. You're not about to overload me more. So there's the things you could do is drink water. As a kid, that's all I used to do. I would just drink juice and shit. And my parents were like, why the fuck he only drank juice? Like, you can't just drink juice. You got to eat that. What my child version, who was still spiritually in tune, the body was saying, we don't want to take anything that is going to make the body overwork. At most, drinking water and juice is going to take your motherfucking ass to the bathroom to go pee. And that's it. It's not overworking nothing. It's not stimulating anything too much. Right? So, this is basically saying the same thing, nervous system. How to help appetite return. So, you got to calm the nervous system. You got to calm that shit down. What calms the nervous system down when it comes to sickle cell? What calms that pain down? Nothing but them drugs in the hospital. Nothing. But the drugs, like I said, they're poison, whatever. Slow breathing, in my opinion, wasn't enough. Quiet environment does help, but these things aren't enough. We got to get deep because the sickle cell is deep. So we're going to go into the next slide. There are two body systems that I would like to target. The muscular skeletal system. So technically, the muscle system and the skeletal system is two systems, but sometimes people put it together and call it muscular skeletal system. And I want to go into more of that because a lot of people, what they're experiencing with sickle cell is coming from their fascia. Their fascia is connected with this, and it's holding on to a lot of tension and pain that we don't understand, right? In the nervous system. The pain, wow, I just said it right here. The pain of sickle cell is primarily in the fascia. The fascia is a continuous web of fibrous connective tissue that basically wraps around the muscles, organs, and joints. It connects damn near every structural part of the body. It also holds tension. I don't know what it says because the bubble of my face is in the middle. I can't move it. It holds tension. I probably said it holds tension and pain and trauma. And you want to target this area. I don't know what it says behind that, but during crises, before and after, you want to strengthen these areas as much as possible. And I found herbs that actually help calm these areas down. And I think some of the herbs actually help build these areas, but we'll go into that. How fascia connects and how fascia fits into the connection. Fascia is a continuous sheet of connective tissue that wraps around muscles, blends into tendons which attach muscle to bone, integrates with ligaments which connect bone to bone. Have you ever really been like, where is my sickle cell pain coming from? Because I've been doing that since I was a child. I was like, yo, this shit feels like it's somewhere in the body that I don't understand. It feels like it's in your bones, but that never felt right to me. I'm like, it's something that I don't know. I was never taught fascia. It's a lot of it is the fascia, dog. It's the fascia. That should be stuck in shit. It be stuck in shit. That's why I couldn't do yoga, because me trying to stretch, it was so hard. It was like stretching a frozen rubber band. You stretch a frozen rubber band, that bitch gonna pop, right? So, muscle, fascia, look. So the chain looks like this, the thing on the left. Muscle, fascia, tendon, bone. So when I was a kid and I had this pain, I didn't understand it because in certain areas, you could poke the muscle where you having pain, but it don't hurt like a bruise. So like, okay, it's not necessarily the muscle. Then it's like, maybe it's the bone, but that didn't feel, it felt like something I had never heard before, and come to find out, it's fascia. Fascia helps transmit, the thing on the right, transmit force from muscle contractions into the skeleton. making movement smoother and more coordinated. Most of my sickle cell attacks came from me moving a certain way. I was an athletic child as a motherfucker. I was the smallest nigga on the fucking field as a kid, and not on the field because I couldn't do tackle football, but when we was playing pick up and hold, when we was playing two-hand touch, when we was playing a game, we called it Mossies, where you just get all of us is standing and somebody go throw the ball amongst like 10 niggas and somebody, we try and catch that shit. Whoever catch that shit, nice. I used to be jumping higher than everybody, right? But whatever. It would always be when I extended a muscle too much or I did something that now everything started to lock up. It was the fascia. It couldn't make this transmitting of force smoother anymore. That's where it comes from, in my opinion. I ain't no motherfucking doctor. I'm not saying my shit is law. I'm saying I learned this shit. I applied it to my motherfucking self and I got answers. I ain't never had no doctor, no hematologist do none of this shit for me. None of them. I don't trust these motherfuckers. And I'm going to go into a story. Is it time for this? It's time for it. It came up. When I had my near-death experience, I'm going to tell you right now, I was going through a low time, blah, 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 blah. I can't go into too much detail. I didn't eat no food for a week. I had starved myself for a week, right? And certain things started happening. I had to go to the hospital, and I had spoke with the doctors, and the doctors were saying, yeah, man, we think you have full-blown sickle cell because your hemoglobin is in single digits. It was somewhere between like 7 and 9. It was some crazy shit. My shit was so low, it was insane. And this is why I say people who have tier 3, their hemoglobin is single digits. And I experienced what that's like. I'm like, yo, this is what the fuck y'all experience? This is I had to starve myself for a week to feel what the fuck tier 3 feels like. I was like, holy fucking shit. My hemoglobin was usually around 11, which is lower. Our shit is, as men, is supposed to be around 15. I think maybe 14 too, but really like 15. My shit was usually around 11. At good days, it was around 12. Bitch, my shit was somewhere between 7 and 9. So they sitting here saying to me, oh, we think you got full, sickle. It seemed like they were trying to say I had tier 3. Like, I hate to say this. I'm not trying to push y'all down, but that is, I don't want to say it. Is there any other? No, you guys, it's like the worst. It's the worst. It is what it is. They were trying to say like I had the worst of the worst. He's like, look, your hemoglobin is this. I'm saying to the doctor, you do realize I've been in the hospital over a dozen times, and my hemoglobin's never been that low, ever. It's always been around 11. So the one time that I don't eat for a week and it drops down to 7 and 9, now you're trying to convince me I have something else. I had to argue with the doctor about this. He refused to ignore that I was saying that to him. But he was like, but it's at 720. Are you not listening, consciously listening to what I'm saying? Now, if he was saying, yeah, it's still the full disease, even though you're at 11, 12, that if that's what he was trying to say, that's different. That's not what the fuck he was saying. His entire thing he was saying to me was that my hemoglobin was at 7. I had to damn near tell my mom, we leaving, because this bitch don't know what and it was a guy. I was like, this bitch don't know what he talking about. Because that's you understand how misinforming that is? He won't even acknowledge that I just said I didn't eat a single piece of food for a week and all my nutrients and shit dropped. My mother said when she was pregnant and she wasn't eating, that happened to her. That her hemoglobin dropped like that. But again, we're going to continue. I had to throw that out there. So herbs. Now the herbs that I found that really help the fascia and nervous system are Gotu Kola, Solomon Seal, and Horsetail. Did I spell? I did spell horsetail wrong. I don't give a fuck. Right? Those help the fascia. They also, I think Gotu Kola helps the nervous system calm down. Ashwagandha. That should sound crazy, but ashwagandha targets the muscles and helps the muscles relax. A lot of people who have sickle cell pain, they fucking muscles is stuck and tight and shit. This helps your ass motherfucking calm down. This helps your shit let the fuck go. Now, let that be. All right. Another one that I love, and you see in the top right corner, is called Dong Quai. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. So if I'm butchering it, it's Benny the Butcher. I don't give a fuck. I don't know. Another that I love for the blood is called Dong Quai. Angelica sinensis. Whatever. It's basically a blood tonic herb for nourishment of the blood and helps move blood to restore balance. So if your shit is sickling the fuck up, Take some Don Quay, nigga, in your water. One little dropper, one little tincture dropper, nigga, we out here. The fuck? And it'll help. In my opinion. I experienced it for myself. I don't know what the fuck going on, you experience it, but I'm saying this will help me. You know what I'm saying? So another herb that I use for the nervous system is lion's mane, and lion's mane also helps with like the brain and shit. Helps with a lot of that. When we're in Christ, we tend to be insanely flustered due to pain. This will help calm your motherfucking ass down. Look at this shit. Look at that. Hey, they soothe the nervous system. Nervous system has two sides: sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest. What's happening with a lot of people with sickle cell is our body, because of the crises, is forcing us to get stuck in sympathetic inside of the nervous system. And these drugs they're giving us are, it's helping us get back into the parasympathetic when we can rest. But they're not good. They have all this other bullshit. The herbs really help you get back into the parasympathetic side so your body can rest. When you go to sleep and wake up, a lot of times, a lot of your pain either goes away or you feel a lot better. And that's because when you rest on a soulful level that your body, I don't know how to explain it word for word, but your body just goes into a state where it can heal itself at its highest state. Yes, the body has the ability to heal itself. That's what happens when you go to sleep and you wake up feeling way better. We as people who have sickle cell, I don't know what that says. I can't see behind the bubble. It's probably what I just said, honestly. So the herbs help, in my opinion. And like I said, I don't take it with tea, and I don't take them shits dry, because a lot of the dry shit is like, it seemed dead to me. It's like eating the chips. This shit don't got no nutrients. They seem dead to me. And then the teas stimulate the digestive system. So the teas are good, but I'm not making my body work no more. I'm not doing that. We need to get out of that. So now, nature. Being in nature heals your body the most. I don't want to say the most. Let me not word it that way to give it context. Being in nature helps a lot. You're getting maximum levels of oxygen. You're getting energy and information from the plants, the trees, the natural surroundings of things, the sun, the water, the rain. You're getting that nutrients from all of that shit. Walking around in the sun when warm is one of the best things you can do for your joints, and you need to have the sun hitting your body. Now, if you in somewhere cold like Jersey, I could barely walk around in Jersey when it was summer at first with shorts on, but you want to let the sun hit all parts of your skin, and you want to let your body pores be able to be open and breathe, because then that'll bring in more nutrients. It stimulates the joint and moves the blood around, which helps with stiffness and pain. Go in areas that have lots of trees. Again, do whatever resonates with you. Now, I also want to go into, they have this thing where they talk about how we shouldn't be in extreme temperatures, which, yes, I agree. We shouldn't be in extreme cold. Now, when it comes to extreme heat, it's something you got to work up to. Because now that I've been doing all this, extreme heat don't bother me. It's actually the best shit ever. Keep going. All right, we'll go into that. Wait for the slide. All right, cool. So, nature. Winter is where every animal, bug, plant, and tree starts to lose energy, so they all hibernate or lose their leaves and petals. Everything in nature either dies or tries to stay the fuck away from that season. Everything in nature. The bugs, nigga, the birds, the animals, the plants, the tree, everything starts to lose its energy in nature. So you really gotta be on top of winter. You got to look at winter like this is that's the biggest obstacle. And this is how we preparing for this bitch like Batman. We got the home cooked meals. We got the ski suit. We got the herbs. We got the water. Get your child a fucking water container. Did I go into that on this? Get your child a motherfucking water container that they could always refill them shits at any time. I think I wrote this later. I'll do it at the end. I'll talk about that, because your child has to have special needs in school. Fuck all that. Right? Everything rises when the sun is out. We are no different. Get your black ass in the sun and make sure the sun's hitting your skin. It needs to be warm for this. Minimum, I say, is 65 to 70 degrees plus, in the sense of really having shorts out, because you got to mind, sometimes the wind will get cold, and sometimes the cold sits in the air. Like, so Jersey, I talked about the cold would sit in the air, but Carolina, the environment here is warm and humid. So a lot of that heat sits in the humidity and it stays warmer longer. That doesn't happen in Jersey. Jersey just cold and dry and it don't do nothing. The humidity actually keeps the environment more warm here. It's ridiculous, right? No sunscreen. Sunscreen is poison. I'm going to let you know that now. It's poison. That shit is poison, dog. That's for white people. They can't handle the sun. No disrespect to them, but that's where that's from. And I'm not going to go into the origination of sunscreen, but whatever. Sunscreen is a no-no. Absolutely not. Allow your melanin to absorb as much sun as possible. You might need to work up to that. I'm not saying take your ass in 100 degrees and just stand out there. I do that shit now because I've built up to it. But again, next slide. Nature, sun. We need to be in the sun. The sun is one of the best things for all black people, but especially people with sickle cell. The reason they advise against it is because the sun powers you up. We are children of the sun. When someone who has been sick for 20 years feels powered up because they spent an hour in the sun, has a feeling to go run around, this is what I wanted to go into. This is why they advise against it. Now, the doctors will say, don't go in extreme heat, da-da-da-da. Whenever I was in extreme heat, I always felt the need, like, I wanted to do more. I wanted to run around. The problem with this is, if you've been in pain for so long, all these years and shit, your body's not in a state ready enough to go run around. So you getting powered up by the sun, but your body's not ready to do all this running around shit. It's not ready for that, so you're going to end up hurting yourself. But they don't give you enough context. If you was in the right environment and healing and doing a lot of this shit that I'm trying to bring, you know what I'm saying? What ends up happening is your body starts to get strong enough where you can, do a little running, do a little run here and there. I'm not saying go crazy with it, but I'm saying your body becomes able to do a lot more, and then you can start handling the sun being more extreme. The sun being more extreme is just more power for you to power up. You just got to build up to it. This is where you get hurt and why doctors advise against it, but they don't give you context, like I just said. You have to give yourself enough time to power up before you start trying to be a regular, normal body motherfucker. Your body has to heal, and I can't see behind this. Yes, you got to get rid of a lot of the tightness and this, that, and the other. And these are processes, dog. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to bring this to y'all, but I'm going to be honest. I couldn't do this in Jersey. So the condition and environment, these things have to be met, in my opinion, for you to do this shit. Now, these are things that just help whatever environment you in to just help yourself the best way you can. But in my opinion, you need the right environment. You need it because it's the foundation. If you gotta have the right foundation. You gotta have that root chakra stuff. So that's shelter, that's clothing, that's heat, that's warmth, that's food, that's water. You know what I'm saying? That's those things. You can't build no house without the foundation. Even the Bible says it. Your house without a foundation, that bitch gonna blow away. So you can't really build properly without that. But you can make certain things better. So we're gonna continue. Water. Now, I don't know how this made it this late in the presentation, but fuck it, we ball, nigga. God works in mysterious ways. Water is an absolute necessity. Spring water, to be exact, and any artificial made water is poison. Download the Yuka app and scan all food and water for additives. Try not to drink from plastic, but honestly, we can't do too much about that right now, so get what the fuck you need. If you need your Fiji, if you need that Poland Spring, if you need whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Spring water is the best. I would say filtered water is best. So I get my water. My parents got a fridge that you could just get the water from that. I use that shit. That's why I be putting my herbs in. Max the water out, dog. Water. Average person needs like 100 fluid ounces a day. I looked it up. It says men 125, women 90. You need as much as your body is asking you to drink. Bitch, we probably need more. Get a water bottle like Owala. I got my Owala shit. My Owala shit right here, nigga. I got the 32 ounces. There's water in this motherfucker right now. Bitch, I be drinking. Fuck is you talking about? Right? And I got my herb tinctures in there. I put it before I started the video. I got herb tinctures on me right now. I got probably 15 of them shits right now. Nigga. I'll show you some of them right here, nigga. And the same ones that I've been talking about. Lion's mane. Nigga. Don't quay, nigga. Don't quack, boy. I don't give a fuck what it's called. Go-to collar, nigga. The shit I'm drinking right now is go-to collar, Don Quay, lion's mane, and horse. Oh, why is my top not on? Shit, see, God worked in mysterious ways. He said, boy, your top not on. It's not on tight. You go get that. You feel me? I do's my shits, nigga. Right? I drink whatever time my body asks me. Drink that shit. And I wanted to mention, like, parents, you got to go into the school and you got to make sure your child has access to, because when I was in school, you couldn't walk around with shit like this. Nope, you got to go to the motherfucking principal, whoever owned the bitch, and be like, hey, my child got special needs, call it whatever the fuck you want. They got to have water. They got to have access to water at all times. They got to be able to walk to the nurse. I went to Passaic County Technical Institute, bitch. That shit was like a college campus. I was not ready for it. I got extra time to go to classes. My mom was a little late on it. She didn't get that shit till like end of junior, beginning of senior year, but hey, she did it, so I'm grateful. I got extra time to get to my classes. I could go to the nurse whenever I wanted, and I had the Owala shit. You feel me? Do whatever the fuck you need to do. And maybe wait until after your child is enrolled so they not trying to kick you out for their 7:30 because they don't be looking out for us for real. So let's go to the next slide. Activity. It is a must that all children and adults with sickle cell have some form of activity. Don't try and match the other kids. Do what resonates with you. Even if all you do is walk on a treadmill, bitch, get the joints moving. I like walking in the sun, getting the energy from the sun, the trees, everything around, and then I'm stimulating my joints. This strengthens the muscles, joints, fascia, which helps you have way less crises, dog. You gotta have the strong body. You can't be laying around. I played video games a lot as a kid, but my father used to force me to go outside. Bitch, you gonna be active. You gonna do it, and I'm grateful for that he did that. Nigga, I used to be nasty as a kid to until these niggas couldn't see me. And before I stopped playing basketball and I started liking it, I started getting nasty. Nigga, I was like Kyrie nasty. So whatever. But I could only play like half court. Like I couldn't do full court. Full court was too much. I couldn't do all that running. But half court, and here's a cheat code, low key. Nigga, play Scud. You can take maximum breaks. Only play Scud. You can take maximum breaks. I used to use Scud as warm up. Scud is, we call it Scud, but it's like 21. Playing 21. I used to use that shit as warm up, nigga. Warm up. So this way you get tired, alright, break some shit and let them other niggas play until you get your energy back. Nigga, just rebound or some shit. I don't know. Parents, you need to be in control of how your child is eating and drinking water. All children, because you guys saying these children don't know this. They not going to know. So you got to be heavily informed, dog. All children should have I just said this, have special passes that allow them to have water whenever needed, extra time to travel between classes, and be able to go to the nurse at any given moment. Go talk to the principal and put pressure on them motherfuckers. Shit, threaten to sue if you have to, but after your child is enrolled. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Because here's the thing. Your child enrolled, it's going to look bad on the school if they kicking out a child that has extra needs and they like, nah, fuck out of here. It's going to look bad at school. School not going to go against you, dog. So do what you got to do. You got to be on top. You got to make sure your child is aware of these things. And on top of that, so I talk about ski suit. Your child going to stick out. Your child going to have to wear the thermals and shit. They going to stick out. Let them paint on them shits. Let them get creative with it. You got to let the child's creativity breathe. Because if not, they're just going to feel isolated. They're already isolated. We going through some bullshit. You got to maximize creativity. So they need art. I promote art as much as possible. I make music. I draw. I paint. I be painting on my clothes. I don't care. They just clothes, dog. Who gives a fuck? Now, if you got the nice clothes, you know, you might be hit them with the, all right, don't do that on that. If they want to, your child might be an artistic genius. Let them do it. Fuck it. Right? So, put up art, and art is really good for your mental health. I need to see I don't know what fucking power my laptop is on, but it's good for your mental health. And a lot of people with sickle cell feel very repressed and suppressed. We don't get our emotions out because nobody understands, nobody want to listen anyway. Yo, let these kids get their emotions out. If it's through video games, if it's through art, if it's through rapping, if it's through singing, if it's through poetry, if it's through drawing, whatever it is, they need emotional outlets. Let the creativity live. If it's through photography, if it's through they want to be an actor, they want to be a video, if they want to sing around house, be silly as a motherfucker. Who says the bunny can't rock? You're bugging. Space Jam, Jay-Z did that, but wait, you know what I'm saying? Let them be silly. Let them do whatever they need. They already got enough to deal with. Let the child breathe, but be on them. Be on them niggas. Like, be on it. Make sure they got everything the fuck they need. Put a motherfucking book bag in your car that has all essentials. So if your child missed something, oh damn, we got the backup. We got an extra Batman belt in the trunk. I got you, dog. Put an extra pair of a ski suit in there. Put an extra pair of thermals in there. Extra pair of socks. Fucking one of these extra pair. If you got the bread like that, put that in there so they have all their essentials at all times. You got some extra shit on the go. On the go, you got it. I'm sweating like motherfucker. It's hot. God damn. Figure out early what fruits and vegetables your child naturally gravitates toward. Like I said, go one by one. Don't try and give them a lot of shit at once. You need to know which things work. So if you go one by one, you could build a list of things you know is good for them. Then if you want to start mixing shit, you know there's no issue here. If you giving them a lot of shit at once, one thing might be off, and now you think all this other shit is no good. One by one, simply go down certain fruits and vegetables and see it work. I cannot eat sweet potatoes. So their sweet potatoes has a mineral or something in it that some people just can't digest. I forget what it's called. Some people can't digest it. Sweet potatoes is considered a superfood, but I can't eat it. My stomach goes crazy if I eat that shit. I mean, the worst thing I've ever experienced stomach-wise. So figure out one by one, and your child is going to have to go through that. It might be hard for them. Get them through it, because now you're going to know how to, all right, let me give you this. Start off with fruit. Start off with something easy and work your way up. Start off with the fruits, organic everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't eat too much pineapple. I'll start getting acid reflux. I can't eat watermelon, like I said. It'll start doing things. Go one by one with the fruit, because fruit is easy. We all love fruit. Nigga, get the strawberries. Nigga, blueberries. Nigga, blackberries. Nigga, raspberries. Nigga, is it raspberries? Yeah, raspberries. Nigga, mango. Nigga, peaches. Nigga, I love peaches. Oh, peaches. Nigga, go down the line. And then you start finding different things you could put in their oats. Get them eating healthy early. They'll love it. And then when they get older, they'll see, oh, this was my parents was on me. Oh, this was my ancestors was doing. Cool. In the most natural form, don't add no extra seasoning. We don't need that. Or nothing. Give it to them raw or steamed. Fruit is God's candy. My dad used to say this all the time. Now, you got to be careful with this. Don't be throwing all the fucking fruits in the same bowl. Like, niggas that eat trail mix disgust me. That's nasty. All that shit touching and shit. That might be my fucking, ARFID. That's a neurological thing, nervous system thing. You don't like your foods touching because your nervous system can't handle when all of them mix. It's too sensitive. And then you have pica. Some children experience that are malnourished. I'm going to put this here. They'll start eating inanimate objects. Because what's happening is, y'all remember when we was kids and we seen the motherfucking African commercial with the motherfucker, you see his motherfucking bones and the motherfucker eating dirt, cookies. They're doing that because they have pica. They're severely malnourished, so they're eating whatever's there. That's why you see certain dogs that start eating shit. They're eating whatever's there because something's wrong and they're trying to overcompensate. I ain't gonna go do what fuck I used to eat. I was keeping it a beat. Nigga, I was a little kid. I was eating toilet paper. I was eating paper. I was eating random shit, and I didn't know why. And when I got older, I started learning, oh, that's pica. I was so sensitive to all these things. That's ARFID. So don't do that nasty old people shit, putting all these different fruits and vegetables in the same bowl. No, bitch, keep your shit separated. What happens is the essence of these things start to mix, and it's just too much. Anyone that has sickle cell, my parent probably has a sensitive nervous system, but whatever. Some fruits and veggies, their body might deny. That's okay. The body is genius. It knows. For example, I can't eat spinach because my body denies it. My tongue starts to hurt like an allergic reaction every time I eat it, even till now. That is a sign the body is rejecting it. Move on to the next leafy vegetable. Your body's saying, I don't need this nutrient anymore. This nutrient that's in apple, we're good, dog. You had 3 apples already. Bitch, go get a banana. We need potassium. Go get a banana. Remove all artificial bullshit. Get rid of it. Now, next. I'm going to go into this. Heating pads never work for me. It might work for other people. That shit never worked for me. Baths never worked for me, and I'm going to explain to you why baths didn't work for me. Baths didn't work for me because taking a shower or getting a bath is like damn near taking exercise. If your body's already having a crisis, you don't want to do anything that requires more work. You don't want to do anything. So me taking a bath, now the air is colder. Now I have to do all this drying off. Now I got to lotion my shit because black people don't like being ashy. That shit feels nasty. That didn't work for me because the nutrients are already low while I was having a sickle cell crisis to begin with, and now you're doing something that's going to cause me to use up more nutrients. It didn't work for me. Motrin wasn't strong enough. So these are different things that I'm like, fuck, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think go towards herbs, let me see, what did I do for that? Go towards herbs. And again, you got to get in nature. It's not many options we have out here, but these options that I use for me, they work. Go fucking, and get a stiff bed. Forgot about that. If you have the money, get a stiff bed or a bed that's not too soft. Because what happens is if you have a mattress that's too soft, your body naturally goes out of alignment. Our bodies are not meant for this. Our bodies are actually meant to sleep on the floor. And that's why you see in a lot of Asian cultures, they sleep on the floor. They eat on the floor. They do shit on the floor. Because the floor supports the natural alignment of your spine. Whereas when you're in bed, so when you're on the floor, it'll be more like straight and shit. Where you're in the bed, your shit fucking curving and shit. That causes a lot of pain, bro. Anytime I fell asleep on the couch, I would wake up feeling like I was about to have a sickle cell attack. Couches are poisonous too. I'm gonna let you know that now. Couches cause a lot of these attacks because it's putting your body in morphed positions. So the things that help with me, if you get to the point where you need Motrin or you need XYZ, go ahead and take it, bro. I'm not saying just sit in the pain all day. I did that shit as a kid. It's hard. It's a lot. But you guys start doing things like, you guys start trying to like take herbs, drink water, try and get certain foods that are easy. Now, another thing you can also do is you can start juicing fruits and vegetables, right? Now, I spoke earlier where I said I don't like taking fruit smoothies. Fruit smoothies, every time I take them, because they have high amounts of fiber in them, because you got all these different fruits and vegetables or whatever in them, they would trigger my digestive system, and now all these same nutrients I just took is going right back into the toilet. It didn't do shit for me. Now, if you juice it, it's not the same. Smoothies actually are like somewhere between food and liquid. So you still got to shit, and that's what? Damn near diarrhea. But with juicing, you could juice fruits and vegetables. That shit going straight into the bloodstream, and the body don't have to work to break that down. At most, I think they say like your liver does that, but your body's not doing no extra shit to break that down, so you could get maximum nutrients straight into your shit. Help with whatever the fuck is going on. But you got to figure out what your body needs for that. So, yeah, go ahead. Find you a motherfucking, I don't know if it's holistic or nature-oriented doctor, or those doctors that understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Because this medical society, we go to the hospital and your doctor is either never black or, you know what I'm saying, or even if they are black, they're going off the colonizers' information. We ain't gonna get nowhere like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Understand and study what is going on under the surface. Sickle cell affects every body system. This means everything is in need of balance. Drugs and coping will not change that. So I'm just giving you certain things. If you're going through a crisis, bitch, have somebody juice your shits. But you got to figure out what it is, though. You have to figure out what it is those things need. And this is why, don't go into that, let that be out. This is why it's important to do the studying of these fruits and vegetables, and then studying fascia. What minerals help the fascia? What herbs help the fascia? What herbs help the muscles, the bones, the blood? Finding all these different things so you know what fruits to juice. You know what vegetables to juice. You want to, if you can't handle high fiber like me, you want to stay away from anything that has high fiber. I don't give a fuck how much nutrients is in it, but you got trial and error that shit. So that's parents. You're gonna have to do a lot of trial and error. And you're gonna have to take those days where it's the weekend, and we're gonna have to study together. Show them this. Have it in the background playing if that's the case. You need it in their subconscious. My dad did some of this shit when I was younger. And even though he couldn't do certain things the way I changed it as I got older and made it fit and work for me, it sat in my subconscious, and one day it clicked and I got to work. So now, we are getting to the end of this. Fish red blood cells. Fish experience the same shit. Stressful environment, cells reflect that environment is messed up and the body start doing XYZ. People who have any form of sickle cell trait must go back to the ways of the ancestors. Water tribe, nigga. Probably more than that, but we in the middle of the breakthrough, right? It's probably more than that. It's probably nature. We're probably more in tune with everything in nature. Fish red blood cells can undergo a sickling phenomenon similar to human sickle cell disease, driven by hemoglobin crystallization under low oxygen and low pH conditions. Unlike the often fatal disease in humans, this process in fish is typically reversible and acts as an adaptation to stress, such as when fish are caught or they're in low oxygen places of the ocean. Meaning they went deeper into the ocean. That's why they say don't go deep sea diving or don't go airplane diving, because the oxygen levels are low and it will trigger these flare up. Fish red blood cells can undergo hemoglobin polymerization, causing them to sickle under low oxygen hypoxia and low pH acidic conditions. Similar to human sickle cell diseases, this phenomenon found it basically saying the same shit. But if they go right back to the high oxygenated place, so higher in the ocean, it reverses it. That's why I was saying in the last video, bro, we just need to go back to our natural forms of living, and I'm trying to show you what our different natural forms of living were. It was taking herbs, it was being in nature, it was communing with the land, communing with the water, being connected with our chakras and all these different things. It's a full scope of taking care of yourself and sickle cell. It's a full scope of that shit. I'm not just saying, oh yeah, just get in water and then things will be fixed like the fish does. No, it's more to it than that. But that's breakthrough information in my opinion, easily, because just off of what I understand. Fish red blood cells. The fish goes back to the high oxygen environment. What did I just say? And the cells go back to normal. Alright, that's it. Peace. I didn't feel like doing nothing else. Let me see if there's anything else for me to say. It is hot. It's hot as fuck in here. I can't. Hell no, boy. This shit is unacceptable. Oh my god. I'm in the car, nigga. I'm in the car doing this shit, boy. So, again, like I said, parents, y'all gotta turn into Batman, bro. Y'all gotta turn into Batman. Understand all of the needs that your child needs. You have to know what it is, and you gotta have go-tos. We can't be sitting here and just saying we don't have no go-to. Let's go to the hospital. We gotta start weaning ourselves off that shit. Now, tier 3, I don't know yet. I have to finish healing to see how potent this is, so that I can fucking be like, yeah, I can help tier 3. I don't fully know. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing I can think of is they probably would have to undergo the same process and things that I'm doing, but probably for a longer time. That's my assumption. But that requires money. That requires the right environment. That requires certain things. That requires you being away from your family. That probably requires you not being in school, not having no job, because you need to step away from life to get your shit in order. That's the only thing I can see that as. Same way as Doctor Strange had to give up being a doctor so he could be the motherfucking greatest alchemist in the world. So, when you see things like that, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to it, but I'm studying as much as I can. I'm in my car right now. I don't have nowhere to sleep. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get gas money. Shit, last time I got gas money, I finished. Don't say that out loud. This could all be part of. Don't even do that. Alright, don't even say that shit. Say it for the most part. I was on, you know how sometimes your bank be like, refer this person and we'll give you like $30 or some shit? There you go. That's how I got my gas money. I turned that shit into $50 somehow. And fucking, I got gas money and I got some food to eat yesterday. But I've been sleeping in my car because I can't be home. Like, I can't do it. I can't do none of this shit, figure none of this shit out at home. That's just, it don't work. So I've been doing this to the best of my ability. So, pee. Nigga, I just be going to libraries and shit. That's how I get internet and do certain things and post and this, that, and the other. So I'm about to go back to the library. They got a water fountain there. That's how I get my water. And yeah, like I said, I feel like that's a lot of helpful information. I don't know if I left anything else out. A lot of different things, man. A lot of different things that I had to put together. Bro, the herbs, the food, you want to get as much like fruits and vegetables. You got to figure out certain things. You got to understand balance of things. Too much fruit and vegetables is not good. Too many fruits, that's too much sugar. You got to find balance in these different things. Every meal should have a balance of something high alkaline, something probably acidic that's going to give you protein, whatever, and then something neutral in the middle. Now, you can also get protein from beans, but my problem with beans is too high in fiber, so it's like I can't eat that shit all the time. Or I gotta add something else to the balance so that it can offset that. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta trial and error a lot of shit, but you gotta have go-tos. You gotta make sure your child is having the water and helping with their social life. I struggle to make friends. I struggle to be open about my condition. You gotta teach your kids to be open about their condition, but understand the condition through and through, and also understand like not everything that these white people give us is set in stone, and that it's this, that, and the other. You run with that shit, you gonna be fucked up for whoever knows how long. We gotta start understanding our own ways, our own appearance. How did our ancestors know this and the other? And I'm not just saying go run the African culture, nigga, because African culture ain't the fucking answer to everything, as I spoke on in the other video. It's just not. So, yeah. That's the last thing I'll say. Something about modern science. They say modern science this and modern science that. Man, that's another rabbit hole you could jump down. But no, a lot of this shit is like, it's modern in the sense of it's the best shit that we've known, but it doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it better than being in nature. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it good. That doesn't make it certain things. All that means is it's just the most up-to-date technology we know of this, that, and the other. So when people start talking about, you know, modern science says we need to be doing this, or we're studying hemoglobin and this, that, and the other, I'm like, when I went in nature didn't even have me focused on like blood, like, oh, that's the first thing you need. It didn't have me overly focused on that. Now, did it show me things that can help the blood, like the Dong Quai that I talked about? Yeah. Like burdock root, which will actually, what's the word for that? Detoxify your blood. Right. So it had me do that. And that's for now. And now I might make a third PowerPoint, and I want to go into certain things that I have a theory about, but it's going to be more of a mix between the spiritual and physical, so we'll see about that. Yeah, man, it's a lot of different things, man. It's a lot of different things that you could go to. Nigga, get blankets like a motherfucker. Get blankets. Make sure your child is warm at night and sleeping right. And try and get cotton blankets. Cotton is the best. But make sure your child is sleeping warm, and also make sure their body can breathe. So you got to find that middle balance. Too many blankets, your body going to be suffocating. You're going to be, oh, it's hot as fire. Figure out whatever the fuck it is you need. Get your thermals, get your leg jackets, nigga. That's the ski suit. Like I said earlier, a lot of what we're experiencing with back pain is basically us having weak legs. Oh, I know one more thing I could say. Some of your shoes is causing your feet to be tight. If you look into foot reflexology, you will understand that your feet actually connect to every organ in your body. They connect to every system in your body. And if your feet are suffocating, aka us wearing shoes, we're actually not supposed to wear shoes, but whatever, we're wearing them. If your feet are suffocating too much in shoes, and you don't have, alright, if your feet are suffocating too much in shoes, this is going to cause a problem. Your feet become tight. If your feet become tight, your ankles become tight. Your ankles become tight, your shins and calves become tight, and your knee becomes tight, then your hips become tight. It just lines up. And what this does is this throws off your foundation and structural alignment and makes your body work harder to even walk. You ever seen certain people that walk on their feet? It's because they didn't finish developing. They walk on their toes and shit. They didn't finish developing. So I bring that up because we're not supposed to be walking that way. We're not supposed to be experiencing things like this. So I would recommend, if you're someone who, like me, you need to find wide foot shoes. I didn't know that was even a thing. I would suggest New Balance, and then when you get deeper into that, you can then go into wide foot shoes that have no heel lift. Your heel needs to be on the ground. So that's also fucking up your structural alignment. All shoes have like a 2-inch heel lift that fucks up your structural alignment of walking. So I wear these. They're called Zero with an X, right? I fuck with these very heavy. They're zero lift. But what happens with that is, if you ever wore Vans, and like me, whenever I wore Vans, my Achilles heel would like rip in the back, and it would hurt when I would walk, and that's because the Vans were flat. So what was happening was the back of my body was starting to stretch. You've been wearing 2-inch, fucking your foot is like this. You've been wearing 2-inch off the ground. Now you're wearing Vans and your shit is like that. So the heel starts to stretch, and the back of your body, which is causing all this back pain because it's out of alignment, your fucking lower back, your ass to your feet is stretched like this and constricted. And now once it becomes flat, it starts to straighten out and stretch out. So, you know what I'm saying? Things like that helps. A lot of back pain also stems from weak feet. Bro, there's so much shit that they didn't teach us. Telling you, it's a lot. I studied everything, bro. I started studying the joints. I started studying the back. I was studying sickle cell. I was studying everything as much as I possibly could, because I'm like, it's a lot of shit that we don't know that's going to help us. Why are the shoes even having? They say, oh, it's for support. It's for support. The longer you go wearing something that is like flat foot like that, and this and the other, your feet and lower body is going to get stronger. You won't need support. So yeah, you might experience things like the back of your heel start to rip a little bit because it's stretching, the skin is stretching. Just put a Band-Aid on that shit and it'll go away. Over time it'll go away. I also wear, what are my shits right here? I try, whenever it's warm out, let your feet breathe as much as possible. This is also their sandal. Zero heel lift. bitches is flat, right? Anytime it's warm, you want to have your feet out. Your feet need to breathe, and your feet also absorb nutrients and energy from the different elements and environmental factors. You want your feet to breathe as much as possible. I didn't let my feet breathe as a child, and this led to a lot of back pain. Your feet need to breathe. Have your shits out as much as possible. Socks suffocating your feet. Shoes suffocating your feet. I only had those shoes because it was winter. I ain't had no choice. Second winter and it got warm, but my toes is out right now, nigga. Right now. I don't think y'all want to see my feet, but they out right now, nigga. You need all this. Why you start looking at ancient cultures, they walked barefoot or they wore sandals for the most part. The shoes are not good for you. So it's a lot of studying. It's a lot of shit we gotta learn. So, is that it? Is that the end of the video? Cause I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get food. So I might do that same shit for something. I'm hungry as a motherfucker, nigga. I ain't been eating, but I got so much energy from being in nature that I'm out here operating still. Nigga, I'm well underweight, but I'm still operating because I got so much energy from nature that it was like I'm out here. So, yeah, we want to get our body into the best level of alignment that we possibly can. So this is the information I have been shown, that I've been taught, and this is me doing my absolute best to bring it to y'all. Yeah. Allow your children to really be creative. If they gonna get sweatpants, make sure they colorful. I go to Kohl's, they got the colorful sweatpants, man. You know what I'm saying? And they cheap. Tech gear. I love me some Kohl's. And you get coupons for buying shit. You buy more shit. They give you coupons every month. So, you know what I'm saying? I get colorful shit, and I just mix match my shit. I just make it look cool. So, yeah, you got to make learning fun and cool. And learning that resonate with your soul and your mind and your body is going to become fun. I've been sitting here doing this shit for hours because I find it fun. We hate school because it's ass. School's ass, and it's designed to suck. You're forced to sit at a desk all day, where really we're supposed to be walking around in nature and learning that way. We're supposed to be going on a hike with our elder who's teaching us all this information and talking to us as we go through nature. We go through forest and this, that, and the other. But it's not designed that way. So when your child is sitting there like that, it's because their energy is being forced to fucking be still for no fucking reason. Children are meant to run. That's why they rip and run. They don't get tired. They just rip and run. They have a lot of energy. And you have to let them get that shit out. So, sweats. I covered sweats, thermals, the ski suit, cold is kryptonite. I also made 2 sound tapes, but I don't know how to promote shit. And I made them, and I had in mind when you're in the hospital. For me, because the pain was so strong, I used to try and force myself to sleep, but it was difficult. I made sound tapes that would like help soothe your energy and your nervous system and your body, so you can go to sleep and get that rest from your soul, so you can heal and stop that shit as fast as possible. Yeah, those are on. They're gonna be on the same page that I'm gonna post this on. If you want to listen to it, that's up to you. I'm not forcing nobody to do it, but I made that with sickle cell people in mind. And then I also made an album where I'm rapping, but that's, you know what I'm saying, that was my story of my journey of being called by the ocean and this, that, and different things that I experienced. And me stepping into the world wearing I don't want to say wearing the badge of sickle cell, as you know, we've been taught, but just not hiding myself and not being ashamed and afraid of this, that, and the other. Yeah, bitch, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was eating toilet paper and paper. I was eating inanimate objects. Look at it, it's called Pica. P-I-C-A. And ARFE with the nervous system. But I had a bunch of issues that my elders and adults didn't know how to do nothing about it. I did, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm tired of being afraid and this. Nah, nigga. Anybody that's on you, condescending, making fun of you, this and the other, that's either not a real friend or a real family member. Now, there's a third thing, in the third PowerPoint I'm going to go in, because I made this comment in the Reddit community. I was like, there's a reason they can't hear us. And there is a reason a lot of people cannot hear us. But that's more on a spiritual energy level of understanding certain things. So I'll go into that then. So I'll leave this for now. I'm probably hit this I'm not even probably. I'm gonna hit this library right now, and then I'm gonna figure out how to get some bread and figure out what I gotta move on to right now. Okay. All right.